Okay, quick recap here on some of the things that worked well from the football camp last week. Anybody who's coached a lot at the previous camps or are in the academy will know all this stuff already, but worth doing a quick recap on it. So, primary focus for the camp is that we're delivering a safe camp that is fun and that the skills and activities are age appropriate. So, number one responsibility for us as coaches is making sure that there's a safe environment. So that's everything from making sure when they're checked in that they're going to their area, they're not wandering off, lunch times are supervised, breaks are supervised, toilet visits are controlled and supervised, and then any untoward behaviour in the group, that's stamped out right from the beginning, and it's made sure that it's very clear that there's no bullying, no slagging, etc., no name calling, and that's not permitted. And I think as coaches, we're always kind of sensitive that what somebody might consider as banter and a little bit of fun for somebody else mightn't be received in that way. So we just keep it a nice, safe environment for everybody. There will be kids that will clash. Best thing with those is get them into separate groups, and you'll be able to move on with the session. And then if there are any other incidents or clashes, that as coaches that we share those with each other. So you may think that you've dealt with an incident between two kids in your group, and then you pass the group on to another coach, and that persists. So share those things and let the coaches know. And then if there's any significant issues, make sure the head coach knows so that they can have a chat, a little chat with the parents at the end as required. Okay, so they're the principles that underpin a successful camp. In terms of the running of the day, there's three, sections to the day that work well. Number one is to start off with fun activities. In the second block, you're doing skill activities, and in the third block, then you're playing matches. And you can have a break in between those at the coach's discretion. So, fun activities, something that's easy to explain, something that's high energy, that gets them into their groups, that gets them moving around, that burns off that little bit of excess energy. You have a break, you go into your skills then, again, making sure that they're age-appropriate skills, and if you're in doubt, go to the adult coaches that are there. They'll know the groups, they'll know, how advanced they are in terms of, striking from the hand, how advanced they are in terms of roll lift, how advanced they are in terms of hand passing and catching, etc. And then always finish off with matches at the end. Okay, so that's the format of the day. That format works really well. The kids get into it, and they'll run through that pretty well. If you take then, for example, if you have a group, we'll say of 40 kids, and in this example I'll use say an under 8s, but you can adjust the activities here for under 6s right up to under 12s, but just in terms of managing the group. Okay, so if you have a group of 40, what we don't want to have is two groups of 20 here and two coaches managing each of those groups. Okay, so if you want to have kids jumping on each other's backs and hopping off each other, then put them in a group of 20 and put them in a queue. Okay, but we don't want that to happen, so we will be splitting them into station-based coaching. We'll set up 4 stations, we'll put a coach per each station, and we'll run the activities accordingly. So there'll be a coach at each of these, and so for the morning session, for example, for the fun activities, for an under 8 group here, now this could be different every day, and it could be different to different age groups, but start off with something simple like bulldog, start off with something like relay races here, something like tag games here, and something like a rob the nest here. Okay, so you start off with those. You have a coach at each station. The kids rotate around every 10 to 15 minutes. Coach stays at the station. Coaches run those, and pretty quickly you have a nice, efficient running of the morning session, and that's done. They have their break. They come back in again. They can stay in their groups then for the middle portion of the day, and they go back into it. And then you're kind of moving towards more skill-based stuff. So you might go a 1v1 shooting game where they're shooting on each other, and then they're rotating around, or you could have some knockout on that. You could have a puck fada in this group. So again, they're getting lots of touches here. They're getting lots of repetitions. You could have a roll lift or a jab lift relay here. Again, so they're getting the skill in there. There's a bit of competition and they're getting lots of repetitions. And then you could have some kind of like a no man's land here. Again, a striking game, controlling it, or an older group could be even catching it, okay? So again, coaches stay with them, kids rotate around, lots of, their games, there's a bit of competition, there's repetition, and there's the age appropriate skills. But structurally, you're getting groups of, we'll say in this case 10, but it could be, it could be anything between 8 and 12, okay? Easy to manage for the coach. Then you break up again. If I had a group of 40, I'd be playing a 5v5 game here, a 5v5, a 5v5, and a 5v5. And you keep one team on each pitch and you rotate the other team around. Okay, very simple. Again, lots of touches of the ball, lots of shots, lots of scoring opportunities, lots of scores. No, everybody is engaged in the game. So keeping the game small-sided. If you have a 6v5 here, yeah, don't worry about that. The weaker kid in the group won't contribute significantly to the game anyway. So yeah, don't worry about that. But don't come along and decide at under 8, for example, that you're going to play a 12v12 game. Okay, that's not what we want to see here. Only 1 or 2 players dominate. When you do this, the other thing that will happen is that there will be you have I suppose a discrepancy or a difference between the skill levels maybe of some of the boys and the girls. That's just because some of the boys have played a lot more hurling than the girls. What worked well for us in the football camp is that girls' goals were counted as a double. Okay, you must pass to a girl rule for me doesn't work well, because a boy gets the ball and he's in front of goal and then he gets frustrated because he can't shoot. He's to turn around and pass to somebody, and that's totally unrealistic. Girls' goals count double works because if a boy gets the ball in front of goal and a goal is on, he goes for it and he gets his goal. But if a girl is in a better position, he gives it to her for a double goal. Okay, so it keeps the game moving forward. And actually, what we saw at the football camp is the boys started telling each other to pass to the girls because they wanted to win the game. Okay, so that works well. For the matches session, the other thing that worked well last week was allowing the players. So if you have your 5v5 games here, is give them a few minutes at the beginning and tell them to come up with a name for their team. Okay, they have a bit of fun and you have a bit of banter with the coaches in terms of each team having a name, and you can continue that through the matches in the afternoon session. Okay, so that gives you your fun activity session, your skill session, your matches, your breaks in the middle, and everybody should be going home happy and safe.